Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're having a bit of an urgent but totally friendly intervention. I'm going to try to save you from some truly gross, unbelievably expensive, and entirely avoidable plumbing disasters. You know, we all have these bathroom and kitchen habits that we literally don't think twice about. But behind your walls, under your floors, those exact habits are just wreaking havoc. By the end of our time together today, you're going to see your household drains in a completely new light.
Okay, let's dive into this. We kind of tend to treat our toilets like a magical bathroom black hole, right? You drop something in, push the lever, and poof, it's gone forever. Well, actually, scratch that. That's a massive myth. The mechanical reality of your plumbing is surprisingly simple and honestly pretty delicate. Toilets are engineered for exactly two things: human waste and a limited amount of toilet paper. That's literally the whole shebang. So, what happens when we start treating our porcelain thrones like regular trash cans?
Well, it begs the ultimate question: is it actually flushable? Today, we're playing plumbing detective. We're going to challenge those everyday disposal habits and figure out exactly what goes on down there. Because as you'll see from the source material we're breaking down today, just because it can physically fit down the hole doesn't mean it ever should.
Section 1. The Flushable Lie. Marketing versus Plumbing Reality. Now, what's really interesting about this is how much packaging actually lies to us. Get ready, because we're about to expose the absolute most deceptive products sitting right there in your bathroom aisle. We're talking wet wipes, baby wipes, disinfecting wipes, and those personal care cloths. Even when a manufacturer practically screams the word flushable on the front of the box, our sources show these products perform super inconsistently depending on your specific plumbing. Instead of dissolving, they travel through your pipes mostly intact, basically just waiting to tangle with other junk and form these incredibly stubborn clogs in both your home pipes and the broader sewer lines.
To really understand this, let's contrast how different materials actually behave in the water. Standard toilet paper, it's literally engineered to soften and disperse the absolute second it hits the water. It basically turns to mush. But in stark contrast, paper towels, tissues, and wipes are designed to retain their strength when wet. I mean, you want them strong to wipe up a spill, right? But when you flush them, especially if you're doing it multiple times, they don't break down. They just accumulate. They pile up and form massive, dense blockages. A tissue might feel super soft on your nose, but to a pipe, it's a total roadblock.
Section 2. Expanders and snaggers. Items that actively change shape.
Okay, if those paper towels sounded bad, wait until you hear about the stuff that actively swells, mutates, and grabs hold of your plumbing infrastructure. It literally narrows the path for everything else. This brings us to feminine hygiene products. Just putting it clearly and objectively based on the plumbing data here, pads and tampons should strictly go in the trash. No exceptions. It's just basic physics, really. These items are purposefully designed to absorb moisture and expand. When you drop them into a pipe filled with water, they do exactly what they were built to do. They swell up, and because of that, they easily snag on tiny pipe imperfections or tree roots, catching other debris and causing severe collection system and treatment problems at wastewater facilities.
Section 3. Kitchen and Chemical Invaders. Silent destroyers from beyond the bathroom. Now, the bathroom isn't the only crime scene in your house. Let's shift over to the kitchen sink and the garage. We've got some common chemical culprits here: oil, paint, solvents, antifreeze, and medications, both prescription and over-the-counter. I know. It's so incredibly tempting to just pour leftover paint down the utility sink or flush expired pills to safely get rid of them. But listen, these substances don't just disappear because they're out of sight. Wastewater treatment plants are absolutely not designed to filter out complex pharmaceuticals or heavy industrial solvents. And this brilliantly illustrates the real issue. Flushing those chemicals directly leads to contaminated waterways. The toxins from those solvents, antifreeze, and meds, they flow straight through the treatment facilities and right out into our local rivers, lakes, and oceans. What you should really take away from this is the absolute necessity of using local take-back programs or looking up professional disposal guidance. Never, ever use your drain as a chemical dumping ground. Back in the kitchen, we've got another major offender, and it's a nasty one: grease and food waste. When you finish cooking up some bacon, that oil is a hot, flowing liquid. But pouring cooking grease or food scraps down the drain, absolute recipe for disaster. As it travels down your pipes, it cools off and solidifies. It literally coats the interior walls of your plumbing like a layer of hardened wax. Every single time you do it, that layer just gets thicker and thicker, slowly choking the pipes until solids accumulate and trigger a complete, nasty backup right up into your sink. Section 4. The sneaky solids. Small items, massive blockages.
You know, we humans have some truly weird habits when it comes to what we think we can get away with flushing. We look at tiny items and think, oh, it's so small, the pipes won't even notice. Trust me, the pipes definitely notice. Let's talk about cat litter for a second, specifically clumping cat litter. By definition, it's designed specifically to gather and create solid blocks when exposed to moisture. Just think about the sheer absurdity of this. We're taking a product that is literally engineered to turn into a heavy, solid rock when it touches liquid, and we're pouring it directly into a pipe filled with liquid. It'd almost be funny if it wasn't so ridiculously destructive to home plumbing and sewer systems.
And then we have hair and dental floss. They look so small, thin, and totally innocent. Just a little strand of floss here, a clump of hair from your brush there. But inside the sewer system, they act like indestructible fishing nets. Seriously, they do not break down. Instead, they gather, they swirl together, and they tangle up with all those flushable wipes and that solidified cooking grease we talked about earlier. Together, they create these massive, impenetrable blockages that almost always require a professional plumber to come and physically cut through.
Section 5. The Golden Rule. How to protect your plumbing.
All right, so we've seen the absolute horrors that lurk in our pipes. Now it's time to take all this knowledge and empower you with some clear, actionable advice so you can prevent those massive, messy plumbing bills from ever hitting your wallet. So the crucial point is this. Step 1. When in doubt, treat items as trash. Unless the package or your local guidelines explicitly state otherwise, throw it in the garbage bin. Step 2. If you suspect a clog, stop flushing immediately. Repeating a flush on a backed-up toilet is literally the worst thing you can do. It just forces more water into a blocked space with nowhere to go. And step 3, address the issue right away to prevent deeper, far more expensive structural backups.
It really all boils down to this. Keeping toilets strictly to toilet paper and human waste helps protect your plumbing, drastically reduces the risk of overflows, and seriously lowers your chance of facing incredibly costly repairs. Remember, your toilet is not an incinerator. It's not a magical portal to another dimension. An actual physical trash can is your plumbing's absolute best friend.
I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Next time you're hovering over the bowl with something questionable, a wipe, a tissue, a clump of hair, ask yourself, is a split second of convenience really worth the cost, the smell, and the total nightmare of a flooded bathroom? Take that extra second, pivot, and just use the trash can instead. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and here's to happy, healthy, and perfectly clear pipes.